we have only a limited time at our disposal, so let's take a quick look at some of the essentials of public speaking. That's what I have been told to do for you. So first of all, before I get down to the brass tacks, I must appreciate the efforts being taken by Dr. Matthew Koshi, the one individual who is taking the responsibility of spreading gospel through the green energy and the green resources, etc. That is something really wonderful. No other church has taken up this responsibility, and it's great that he is managing it and doing it to the best of his ability. And I congratulate him particularly on this point. Secondly, I would like to congratulate or appreciate the efforts being taken by the CSI church. Always they are on the forefront, while the rest of the churches are, maybe they have their own skirmishes within the factions, fighting one another, or leading or going there in their own, ways and ways. Okay, well, the time is very limited. So in view of the time, I would like to cut down on some of the expressions or, detailed analysis of the problem. So I would like to briefly put across to you the art of public speaking, okay? I hope all of you are ready with your pen, pencil, and a piece of paper. And I shall give you maybe a few minutes at the end of this program, maybe if you want to communicate with me or ask some queries or something of that nature. I'll be, all the while, I'll be glad to answer some of your queries. Well, so make sure this is only some tips, and I won't be able to demonstrate it. Maybe I might need more time, but that's not possible right now because I am also want of time. Well, some are born great, and some achieve greatness, and some are thrust upon greatness. These are not my words. This I have taken it from Shakespeare. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, some are thrust upon greatness. So, incidentally, and maybe in line with the same quote, I would like to quote a Dale Carnegie, which I often quoted during my public speaking and other communicating classes. So Dale Carnegie, an outstanding, probably a forerunner in the field of public speaking, he said, public speaking is a skill that can be mastered over time through constant practice. So public speaking, as many of us think, is not a hazardous task. It's not a very difficult task at all. If we have the right practice, and if you practice, you can be an eminent speaker, but you will have to practice. That is something we desist ourselves from. Most of us do not practice. We just follow some other people. You don't make your own individuality. We use the same phrases, same idioms, same words. So it is a repetition of what somebody else has said. But instead, you must prepare for any speech. Even the prayer you said a short while ago, try not to use the same words used by your predecessors or your elders. Try to use your own words, how you use it. That's what we call individuality. Don't repeat those words said or repeated by the elders of the church or the teachers or your parents. Try to be individualistic in your own way. Individuality, that matters a lot. So that's what we call personality. Personality in the sense that your own signature, whatever you do, it will have your own signature. Signature in the sense that the quality. Well, I would like to refer to three important aspects when it comes to public speaking. So I don't ask you to write down everything, but I would recommend you to just note down a few important points. And I hope you are able to follow me. Although I have not used the South Indian languages for quite some time, so if you want to if you are not clear with something, please, you can ask me the questions during the Q&A session we will have at the end of this program. So మీకు డౌట్ ఉంటే మీరు లాస్ట్ మినిట్లో ఎప్పుడైనా 10 minutes 15 minutes నేను ఇస్తాను, అందులో మీరు అడగవాలి. ओके, सो अगर कुछ सवाल पूछने हैं तो आप प्रोग्राम के आखिर में पूछ सकता, राइट? ओके, नाउ first, how to become a confident public speaker. Public speaking, how to master it. Before you, it's not mugging up, or it is not reciting something you have crammed up. No, it is something that you have to express yourself as you see it, as nobody else can. As you see it, as nobody else can, then you become an outstanding speaker, for which you need three things. I might have used this kind of acronym in my previous lectures, maybe last time, communicating English or learning English through the Bible. But I would like to repeat those three important aspects. I would like to say the short acronym is ASK, A-S-K, ASK. A stands for attitude. A stands for attitude. So attitude in the sense that you must have the inner desire within you that I must, or I have all the ingredients of becoming a powerful public speaker. Anybody can speak. We all converse, we all speak. We interact with our brothers, sisters, parents, and friends around. But the problem comes when you are alone speaking to a group of people on a particular occasion. That's where you have to have experience, practice. So make it, that means you have to attend. So many things will hold you back. What are the three things that hold you back? Maybe you are short of confidence, you are scared. Second, you are short of ideas because nobody is to help you, or you haven't read enough to give out some new ideas. Third, short of language. So these three aspects will smother you, squeeze you from all sides. So I would say, if you can liberate yourself slowly, it's not possible. Rome is not built in a day. It took hundreds of years. So therefore, you'll have to make use of every opportunity. Even if it is a class session, even if it is a family gathering, even if it is a Sunday school meeting, well, make use of the opportunity. Stand up. Go in front of your own people, your own brothers and sisters, your own congregation, your own parents, and say what you want to say in front of them. And that is the beginning. So you must have that absence of fear. Okay, for which you must have the attitude. This is what I am coming to. Attitude, A-S-K. I said the formula is A stands for attitude, S stands for skill, K stands for knowledge. These three things must be there before you become a public speaker. Okay, so A means attitude. So you must have the right bend of mind or the flair. Must have the right aspiration for that. Okay, I want to talk to my people. I will stand up in front of my colleagues and teachers and parents, of course. And whenever there is an opportunity anywhere outside your family, please grab it. You may be a failure at the first go. Not necessary that nobody is born great. As I already said, some are born great, a few of them. Some achieve greatness, and some are thrust upon greatness. Some, suppose if you are a member of the maybe Gandhi family, you don't have to worry about being a leader because that name or that fame is thrust upon you. But people like us, ordinary people, we'll have to work our way up to be what they are. So therefore, you must have the right attitude. What is attitude? Attitude is something that you have the desire for. Okay, you have the dream. Okay, I want to be a speaker, maybe in a couple of years' time, 3 years' time, or 5 years' time. You must develop that mental that, okay, I can. I can and I will be able to. So attitude is essential. Without any attitude, no matter how hard your parents try, no matter how hard your mother or father tries, you can never be a person of their choice. But you have to accept it. I have this power within me. I can defeat it. I can stand. I have the courage. I have the power. I have the knowledge. So attitude, that must be positive. You may fail once or twice, no problem. But keep doing it. Keep repeating it until you become a success. People will howl at you, mock at you, show faces, but nothing should distract you. Keep working on it. Say those words. You'll have to cram it up a few sentences first. Okay? Then you can be a speaker like anybody else. So this is very important attitude. You must have that desire in your heart of hearts. I must be a good speaker. I must not be afraid. Okay, the second one is a skill. A skill. What is a skill? The skill means, the particular skill here is speaking skill, the ability to express yourself. That involves quite a lot of things. You must be good at language. So what do you do if you want the required skill? You have Sunday schools, you have assemblies, you have clubs, societies, different things. Why don't you take part? Don't be a bookworm all the time, reading only maths, physics, chemistry. I want you to read so many other books. What lies outside the classroom is your knowledge, not within the classroom. Within the classroom, they will give you some formulae, this and that, some prescriptions, some ideas, etc. But what lies outside the world is that's what going to be your life. So remember, you must have that, the skill. A skill means, suppose you want to be a painter, you want to be a good cook, try to help your mom. Try to help somebody who is cooking, try to help your sister or brother, whoever is in the kitchen, helping them initially, maybe cutting up, slicing up, washing, cleaning, helping. Okay, that will prepare you for the task. So therefore, I advise you, keep practicing. May not be as successful. If you cook for the first time, I'm sure that will be a real flop. Something, a tragedy. But if you keep doing it, my hobby is cooking. Because I had to learn how to cook, because that was where I grew up, outside my home. Okay, this is important. So you have to cook, you have to paint, you have to act, you have to sing, you have to speak. Yeah, lots of things. So you have to practice, practice, practice. There is only a formula, only one formula to become a successful person at the skill you choose. What is it? 3 P's. 3 P's. Practice, practice, practice. Okay? Practice, prepare, practice. That's very important. Prepare and practice. Very, very important. So how to prepare? I must have said it one of my previous lessons. Procure, prepare, practice, and present. 4 things. Prepare, collect the material. Suppose there is a speech, or there is a singing session tomorrow, or there is a reading from the Holy Bible tomorrow. Prepare it. Take out the Bible and take out the right chapter or the verses and try to read it out so that you'd be familiar with the punctuations, the pronunciations, and the way it should be, the mood, the temper, etc. So please do that. Practice, practice. So you have to practice, prepare, gather it, procure it, and then second it. Then if you are preparing a speech, you must make it short and simple, in the sense, maybe it's for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Prepare it in such a way that it will be delivered within the time slot or within the time limit. 2-minute speech, 3-minute speech, 5-minute speech. Do it and repeat it. So procure, prepare, and practice. Practice, that is the time I think you should spend more time. Prepare, practice, practice, practice. Then finally present. Okay. So these are the This is the formula rather to master your skill. And the third one is knowledge. You must have required knowledge. You must know, suppose if you are going to participate in a debate or in an extempore or a jam, just a minute program or a declamation, etc. You must have the adequate knowledge about it. You must do the research. You must know something more than that. Only when you be able to deliver what you are supposed to. So ask is important, attitude, skill, knowledge. When you have all those ingredients, you can go about doing your business. Okay, well, that is my introduction, and I would like to move on to what to do or how to do a public speaking effort, how to prepare how to prepare yourself. Number one, I would like to call it as 10 commandments. 10 commandments. Okay, 10 commandments. The first commandment is observe. Observe great people. Maybe when they speak on a public platform or at the church or at the school, or why you have the internet and you can watch them. You can observe many people like Shashi Tharoor, Swami Vivekananda, Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, and so many other people. So many are there. So why just, how do they deliver it? How do they conduct themselves? How do they look? How do they behave? How do they move their body? These things are vital. When you put all those things together in the right measure, it becomes success. So please make sure you observe these people. How do they impress the people? How do they deliver the words? How do they, use the language? What's the type of language? What is the tone? What's the body language? How do they move about? So these things are vital. Observe the people and their speeches. So many speeches are available. If you, instead of spending, browsing or fiddling with your telephone, I would recommend you to browse through your internet looking for, beautiful speeches. Very old speeches are available. Modern speeches are available. How to take the people in your stride. How to exchange your idea with the people. How to bring them on board. How to give exactly what you have, or dish out, or even deliver, or put across the idea you have on your mind. This is a very important aspect of public speaking. So observe them, study how they do it. Number two, prepare your speeches well in advance. Prepare your speeches. Suppose if there is a speech, say for instance, I am here delivering to you a small discourse on public speaking. I'm not here without preparation. I'm here, of course. I spent not couple of hours, even more than that, to prepare this small speech for you, rummaging through all the stuff I have, choosing. Okay. I spent quite a lot of time preparing for this small speech, but that's very important. Okay. Because the taste of the pudding is in the eating. It's not enough that you prepared well, but you are not so good at delivering it. You know the stuff. You have studied everything for the examination, but you don't know how to answer some questions. You are a big flop. So what matters most? The final stage. As I said earlier, those four principles are there. Procure, collect. Second, prepare, make it according to your requirements and taste, etc. Then the third one, practice. Yeah, you can do it even in front of a mirror. Okay, stand in front of a mirror, stand in front of your parents, stand in front of your brothers and sisters and deliver. This is what I am going to deliver tomorrow. What's your impression? Am I all right or lagging behind in some expressions or words or pronunciations, etc.? Do it. Practice makes a man perfect. Do it over and again. Get their support, encouragement, certificate, and I'm sure you will have the confidence in you. So procure, gather, collect material. Then second, prepare, beginning, middle, end. Okay. And the next one is practice. Practice meaning doing it many number of times, not once, until you become confident. Don't take a piece of paper and don't even mug up. Have a small roadmap, a small points written and kept it there. Okay, look at it one and explain. And explanation is so not so easy because you need to have language. Yeah, you have prepared biryani. Okay, అండాలో బిర్యానీ ప్రిపేర్ చేశారు మగ అంటే you don't have any plates to serve it on. That's a problem. So you must have language. How to get language? How to improve your language? You must have the flyer for reading. Read the Bible. Read books of your choice, other than the academic books, not exactly chemistry, physics all the time. Read what you enjoy. Read what you think will be adding to your personality, your knowledge, so that you can speak. Lots of things are, lots and lots of things are. The Bible is a repertoire of knowledge. It's a reservoir of knowledge. So please, that's right. So it's very important. And but once you are familiar with the Bible, I am sure you are never short of anything. And as the Bible always tells us, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and the rest and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So first seek his kingdom of God and his righteousness. So where do you get it? You get it. I always read KJV, King James Version, because I enjoy the language. So you can read the New English Version or Modern English Version or ordinary Bible, no problem. But read you must. Okay. So you must read and repeat it. Practice, practice, practice. So I said practice. So practices. And finally, present. The final day. Without any haggle, without any hassle, without any problem, you will be able to stand up and talk to the people. Maybe you will be able to anchor a program. You will be a commentator. You will be a master of ceremony. Don't shun the opportunities. Grab it. Get the help from somebody. Involve your parents, your brother, sister, or your uncles, aunts, whoever are there. Get their help. And initially, just as you learn cycling. First, initially, you need somebody's help to climb on. And later on, you don't need anybody around. You'll be flying or moving past like a swish. Okay? So, these 4 P's, remember: procure, prepare, practice, and present. That's the second one. Third one, know your audience. You must know the audience. Before I started this speech, I think I talked to Dr. Matthew Koshi. Who am I speaking to? Okay, who are my students? Are they graduates, higher secondary students, primary school students, or postgraduates, or civil servants, or anybody? Professionals, businessmen? Then he gave me an idea about the makeup of the listeners I am with now. So that's very important, because so that I can choose my phrase and speed and the language, etc. I know some of you might find me a little bit difficult because I have to cater to the extremes. So I may not be within the reach of the lowest run, okay, in the sense that maybe 5th, 6th, or 7th date, or some may be able to. Well, that's it. So know your audience. And I said, I can give you a small formula how to know the audience. I made it as PAST, P-A-S-T, P-A-S-T. PAST, P means purpose. What is the purpose of speaking? What's the purpose? Is it for entertaining? Is it for educating people? Is it for informing something new? Is it for giving out instructions? What exactly your purpose? Now, my purpose is to teach you or give you pass on information with regard to the delivery of a speech. That's what I'm doing. So I must give you the clues and the points, what to do and what not to do, how to master it, the importance of certain, the words, body language, the delivery, the sound, the tone, pronunciation, etc. So those are the basic things you have to learn. So purpose is very important. What is the purpose? Okay. Second, the audience. Who are you going to talk to? Are you going to talk to primary school children, higher secondary school, senior higher secondary, graduates, postgraduates, or people who don't have any definite qualification, or an assorted crowd, or a professional group, or people who are preparing for a particular examination or test preparation? Well, that's important. Audience. Next comes, third is PAST, I said. So I have explained purpose. Second is audience. Third is style. Style is very important. Every language has its style. Yeah, every language and every occasion. That style must be maintained. The speed, or how should say, the style. Sometimes when you put on your dress or when you buy something, you look for a fashionable things. It must be appreciated. Style can be using language, different nature, instructional language, maybe humorous language, maybe informative language, okay, new ideas. So give it a style, your own signature. There are many actors. We love them, not because who they are, but because how they are. So that's important. The style is important. Okay. So how you conduct, how you deliver, how you choose the vocabulary, what purpose does it serve? Does it attract? Is there something new in it, or it is just a replica of what somebody has said? Never imitate. Imitation is suicidal. This is what Emerson said. Imitation is suicidal. So never imitate. Be on your own. You be the master. Don't follow anybody. And if you follow anybody, you will not be noticed. If you are on your own, people will notice you. Oh, this man, well, his method is quite appreciable. It's quite good. Okay, so style is important. And the last one, past, is tone. Tone. The tone is important. How you raise and fall, how you speed, fast. How do you say a sentence? Fast, slow, sometimes using both. Okay, and the tone, rising, falling, level tones, and the pronunciation, how fast you say. These are things that matter. Finally, it is a speech, it is a sound that is going to decide whether what you have delivered is hit the bullseye or not. So this is important. Tone is important. So number 3, that's what I have covered. Know your audience. Today I'm going to give you only the rudiments, or the asterisks, or I must say certain do's and don'ts. So try together, and probably next class, if there is time, I think maybe next session, next meeting, we shall have a real go at it, in the sense that we can have a practice session. I shall deliver one and you can follow, and I don't know how many of us will be participating in it, but I'll set aside a little time for you to read out or say something so that we can practice it. So this session is primarily meant for the theoretical aspect, what to do and what not to do. This is what I am trying to explain through this session, okay? And I'll give you a few examples as well, so you can correct yourself, absorb something, and get some inspiration, ideas, etc. Okay, at the end of the session. And the next session will be more practical. We can do something, creative. Right. The fourth one is prepare your talking points. That's very important. Before you speak, before you sing a song, before you attempt any extempore speech, before you do any declamation, make sure you prepare your talking points. Talking point means I must have an idea for instance, this speech itself. I have a roadmap with me. First, introduction, then how to prepare, and what are the points, the 10 commandments. We are on the fourth one. Prepare your talking points. In the sense, suppose you are preparing yourself for a speech for 3 minutes, don't cram it with so many ideas. Choose 2 or 3 strong points, explain it, support it with the details, and conclude it. Well, that is. And if you are in the habit of forgetting something, you will take a piece of paper, note down the key points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's enough. Just place it there. Occasionally take a glance at it and then speak and practice. As he said, you must practice. Without practice, not possible. Always, you'll be just reading out. Reading out is not encouraged. Okay, reading out is possible when you are a child, maybe in the primary. But when it comes to secondary and higher secondary or graduation, you must make sure that you do not read out. And you must develop such a habit of remembering or recording it on your motherboard here, so that you will speak 2 minutes, occasionally looking at the points. That's what I am doing. I have the points before me and I know how to explain it because I'm not short of language. So this is what you have to master. Okay, so prepare the talking points. Keywords, don't write the whole sentence. Suppose if you start reading out the sentence, you might miss a couple of words in the middle, then you will get confused and you will go off the track. You will say, I'm sorry. No. Even when you must limit. Number 5 is use effective language. Effective language is important. Examples, stories, anecdotes, effective languages. Effective language means the idea is conveyed. You say a point and it is supported by maybe an instance or an incident or a quote or an example, etc. That's very important. And the Bible is famous for that. I have learned quite a lot from the Bible in the sense, although I am not an expert in interpreting or the meaning of the Bible, but one thing is certain, I owe quite a lot to the Bible. When he talks about it, suppose teacher, Jesus uses parables to teach. The sower went out sowing. Okay. And the different stories are there. Each story has a message to convey. So you can begin a speech, or you can use a speech a story in between or at the end, wherever you think that story will support the line of argument. So with effective language, good language, reasonable pause, not blurting out everything that you have crammed up. Oh, no. Saying slowly, effectively, looking in the eyes, not looking at the skies or neither at the floor. But make sure you look at the audience, have that interaction with them. Okay, then talk to them without any fear or favor. Okay, so you must have stories, quotes. You see, you must have noticed I started out my speech with a quote. Some are great, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some are thrust upon greatness. So, and I was trying to introduce the art of public speaking is something that can be mastered. It is just like a skill. It's just like any other skill, the skill of swimming, painting, cooking, singing, etc. So that's very important. And number 6 is be pleasant and optimistic. Don't be so sad or messed up, dejected. And sometimes when you are under pressure, you don't know what you have to say. Instead of saying I'm sorry, you might say I'm sorry. So you will cook up something to escape the situation. So I would say that be pleasant. So that pleasant nature comes only when you have practice. If you are confident of doing what you are doing now, you will never fumble. You will never be stuck in the middle of your sentence. Use it slowly. Be optimistic. Okay. And then you can use the minimum body language. You don't have to use, most of the, I've been observing many people, from African continent, Europeans, Asians, the most people who, most of the people from Africa use a lot of body language. We feel that they are about to fight. No, you don't need. Only your brain, your lips, and your body actions will deliver the speech. So you have to think and use that minimum requirement is minimum body language. Okay, you can say 1, 2, 3, and do not have to a big show using all the body into action. No. So with effective language, you can capture them, you can attract the audience, and you must be optimistic, and you must be regular in your speech, and you don't have to say, I'm sorry, I forgot. Don't apologize. In a speech, wherever you go, never apologize, because they don't know what you have prepared. Then why do you apologize? I'm sorry, I forgot. No. Even if you have forgotten a part of the speech in the middle, don't accept it, because only you know what you have prepared. They do not know what you have prepared. So therefore, this is very important. Never apologize. Apologize in the sense that if you commit a mistake elsewhere, I'm sorry. That's different. But I'm talking about a communicative language. And whenever there is a break in the speech, patch it up. Use the next point and go on. Right. Okay. So minimum body language and voice modulation is very important. Rise and fall tone, voice modulation, rising tone, falling tone. Okay. High tone, low tone, level tone. That's very important. And the bar, the bass sound is quite good, Why do you love music? Because they sing well, they can pronounce well, they can use the right phrase at the right time, and with the right accent, with the right pronunciation, that makes them great. Why do you appreciate Bal Subramaniam or Jeshudas or Shreya Ghoshal or anybody? Because of their voice. And we look, listening to them, we spend hours on it listening to them and trying to imitate them, but we cannot. Why? Because they are so good at it. And they have attained this because of their hard work, mastery, doing it, singing it over and again, months on end, hours on end, years on end. Okay, so be pleasant, optimistic, and use voice modulation. And there are many other techniques with which you can, improvise or even exemplify your speeches. Maybe quotes, songs, incidents, humor, stories, etc. So many ingredients, and you can pick and choose depending on the situation, depending on the occasion, and you know what is good for the audience. And if you know their background, like their age group, their education, their expectation, etc. Okay. Number 7 is grab the attention of the audience at the beginning. It's very important. You must grab. If your opening sentence is a flop, you will be a flop, no matter how hard you try. The first part is gone. Well begun is half done. So if you don't know how to begin a speech, if you are drooling, dragging, and then, what should I say? You are, whimpering, gone. So the first entrance itself, the first introduction itself, the introductory sentence itself must be something that will cater to the expectation of the audience. So you must make sure that they receive it well and they receive it properly. This is very important. Okay, so grab the attention. Sometimes with a quote, sometimes with a song, sometimes with beautiful words. Okay, and you know the opening sentence of Vivekananda's speech I must have given you before. The brothers and sisters of America, the brothers and sisters of America. Okay, and friends, Romans, and countrymen. Julius Caesar, Mark Antony's speech. Okay, and then I have a dream by Martin Luther King. He didn't say, I have a dream. I have a dream. So it depends a lot. The tone, the speech, the speed with which you deliver, or everything matter to the letter. Okay, and you must have a conclusion as well. Body, introduction, body, and conclusion. Conclusion should sum up in the sense that it should be a summary of the main points you have delivered. Okay, it doesn't, suppose if you are leaving, oh, I couldn't complete it. I have seen many children leaving the speech halfway because they don't know how to prepare the speech within the time. 2-minute speech, 3-minute speech, 5-minute speech, you have to improve. Never overspend. Be within the time limit. If it is a 3-minute speech, 2.5 minutes, the last 30 minutes should be winding up. And wind up in such a positive way. With something, be optimistic. Never be pessimistic. There are people who don't expect anything positive. But I would advise you to be positive, optimistic, so that people will appreciate it. Okay? And number 8, point number 8, 8th commandment. Tell it as a story. Tell it as a story. It must be a complete whole. It must not be some patches or some parts put together. It must have some different pieces put together. No, it must not be an assorted one. It must be a whole, complete one, without any interruption in between. So as I said earlier, it must be a story. A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. That is very important. And as you tell the story, the listeners will be glued, will definitely pay their attention to what you say and how you say it. So it has a beginning, middle, and an end. It's very important. It must be like a narrative story, as if you are telling. It's not something that you just throw some bits and pieces here without any conclusion and nobody understood what exactly you spoke. No, it must have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Number 9, complete speech well in time. Make sure that you finish your speech in time. Don't take more time. Finish your speech in time. Okay, and then the next one is last one. Be ready for a Q&A session. Suppose there is a speech or a session like this. I have maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I will have to interact with you and answering your queries. I mean, maybe solving some of your problems or helping you with some tips or some ideas. So that's very important. Okay, so I have given you 10 tips. So you must have noted down all those things. My time is limited. I have to go a long way. So I will move on to the next point. That is, there are 3 types of speeches, 3 types. One is what you call is speaking on a given topic. Maybe you will get or Swachh Bharat, maybe injustice, or empowering women, or maybe protecting a green world. Okay, whatever it is, then you have adequate time to prepare, consult others, write, rewrite, prepare, present, etc. No problem, that's quite good. Then second one is there, extempore speech is there, extempore speech. Meaning a speech that is given to you a short while, just a few minutes before the real event. That's where your expertise and other art comes to play. You'll have to write down within the time. You'll have to think up You'll have to just, okay, this is my opening point, this is the middle, and this is the end. Okay, these are the words I must emphasize, and I must contain myself within 2 minutes, and I must make sure that it goes well with the audience to the, I mean, about the particular point given to me. So this is very important. Extempore speech will really test your speaking ability, because you don't have much time, you don't have days to prepare and present or practice nothing. You will be called into the hall, the green room. Okay, here is your topic. After 5 minutes, come and deliver a speech for 2 minutes, or maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes. And the last one is declamation. Declamation is repeating or reciting or saying something from the memory, maybe a given speech. Suppose if you are declamation in the sense that, suppose if you learn a speech or by heart a speech like Martin Luther King, for instance, and you are repeating the same words again, it is declamation. So that will be definitely the third time. So those are, we shall practice some of them maybe in the next lesson or so. And now I would like to move to another aspect of public speaking, that is non-verbal aspects. I've been talking about words and other things. Now, what are the non-verbal aspects? Number one, trust to suit the occasion. You must make sure you trust properly, not over trust or under trust, or make sure you just put on your buttons and it must suit. It must not be a gaudy or over trust, in the sense that you should bear in mind that it's a formal occasion, so you must use formals. Imagine when you are going to a house, I mean, maybe to express your condolences, then you will not be, I mean, dressing in such a way to attract the attention of the people. But instead, you might definitely dress properly in order to suit the occasion. I mean, so that people won't find fault with you. People don't attract, they are not attracted by your trust. They must be attracted by the emotion and the expressions here they see on your face. Okay, that's very important. Second is avoid mannerisms and affectations. Don't pretend, don't repeat, don't no mannerism. There are many mannerisms. Mannerisms means habits. Sometimes they will always arrange your collar, or then maybe combing, or setting their saris, or maybe adjusting their trousers, etc., or coughing, or maybe some kind of cough. Okay, so different people have different manners. Try to avoid that. Okay, and the next one is limit your body language to suit the occasion. Don't overact, don't overexpress. Make sure you use your body language to the minimum, and don't turn them unless there is something. Even if you are going to write on the board, make sure only half your body is half turned, not completely, blocking the site or turning back. Okay. Next one is have confidence in yourself. This is very important. Don't feel sorry for if there is any mistake, because as I said earlier, only you know what you have prepared. Even if you miss out a point or if you misspelled something, don't worry. Go ahead with that. Have confidence, and you believe if I can do it, you can do it. Therefore, we can do it. So make sure that you can do it. You have the power to do it. Do it because you are prepared. You have prepared the speech, you have practiced it, and you have presented it many times. So go with confidence. Try. And next one, maintain eye contact with the audience. Always never look up in the sky or here or there or look at one person only. You pick 3 points. Suppose if you go to a hall or a conference hall, if some people will be definitely friendly, you pick those people here and there and make sure you just span your face, okay, from left to the center to the right, or maybe front to the last. Make sure you interact, and when you pay attention to these people, they feel more interested in your speech. So looking at them rather than looking at the sky or the feet or the floor or elsewhere, never look scared. So that's important. Next one, make sure you are within the range of microphone. Sometimes, many of you, let me just give you an example. Some of you hold your microphone this way. This is not the way. It should be 90-degree. Hold it this way. This is the best because microphone, the sound waves go straight. So don't use it this way as if you are holding or taking a sip from a cup. No, hold it 90-degree and say, and maintain forefinger minimum gap. Don't just hold it this way and speak. And if you are using a collar mic, make sure that it is within the reach and not hidden in the chest, or it should be outside, properly audible. These things are very important. Some of you just even without testing the mic, they will start, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm here to give you some idea about this and that. No, make sure you touch it maybe 1 or 2 times, tapping, make sure that it is working properly. And if the microphone is far away from you, bring it close to you. Right? That's important. Or you will commit this blunder after having started the meeting or probably the speech, you will try to adjust and there is an interruption. Then that will be a distraction. So never start until these things are all right. Or ask somebody, okay, could you please arrange the mic for me? No problem. Nobody is going to find fault with you. And then never ever try to read it from the text. Never take the test. Take a piece of paper that will give you confidence. Okay, keep it there. Don't read out from there. Let it come naturally to you. You can write down maybe a few points if it's a lengthy speech, no problem. Maybe half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hour speech. You can write it down and look at the points and expatiate it, explain it with ample anecdotes, incidents, quotes, explanations. Okay, and then next one, number 8 is find out the age group and the background of the audience. That's very vital. As I said at the very outset of my speech, I talked to Dr. Matthew Koshi about the audience. Who are the people going to listen to me? Who are they? Which age group? Graduates, undergraduates, postgraduates, professionals, doctors, engineers. So we must know who we are talking to. So that's essential. You must know. Also that you can manage or you can increase the level of vocabulary, the level of knowledge, the level of delivery of the speech, etc. Okay, that will help you a lot. And then number 9 is make sure there is ample light and air in the hall. Before I go out to speak to somebody or whenever I go to different institutions or places, I ask them if there is adequate light and air. I can't stand, when sweating or wiping my face, I can't stand because that will dampen your spirit, not only dampen your body, that will drain you of all your energy, water, etc. And you will be all the time wiping, taking, sneezing, or all these mannerisms should be, restricted as far as possible. And the last one is keep the key points written down on a paper. I think I already mentioned it. These are some of the things you have to bear in mind, non-verbal things, okay? And make sure you are familiar with the topic, adequate practice, prepare well, and beautiful language, beautiful dress for the occasion. Everything counts. Don't neglect any aspect of it. Finally, now I would like to give you a little bit of examples. Now, I told you these are some of the things you have to bear in mind. I was rather going fast through the speech because the time I must finish within 1.5 hours before 8 o'clock, because the reception means the level of your interest will fade after 1 hour. I can speak for 2 hours, 3 hours, no problem. But the question is the people who keep listening, because no activity is there except listening and watching me on your monitor. That may not be interesting for a long time. So the reception level or your interest will be plummeting after an hour. Okay, now I shall give you a few examples like few speeches, maybe advertisements, or maybe some other explanations. So observe me, and you can ask questions after this. For instance, I have taken Martin Luther King's the one or two lines from Martin Luther King, famous speech, world famous speech, I have a dream. So how does he deliver? Today, please make sure when the program is over, download Martin Luther King's speech and you repeat it. Repeat as he says. Okay? Like, I have a dream. I have a dream. He didn't say, I have a dream. I have a dream. You see the power. You see the delivery. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation. One day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content and character. You see, that's how you. So when you deliver a speech, you must be rise and fall tone must be there. You must emphasize the following words. I'll give you the technique. Those who are, if you have ears, listen. You emphasize or give importance, not all the words, but you give importance to verb, nouns, adjective, adverb, and determiner. I repeat, you native speakers never read out, I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation. That is really, that's not the way it should be read. You know, English is it's a language that you should put your body and soul into it. Unless you don't so when you say something, you have to put your body and soul. There must be emotional aspect. There must be meaning. There must be good words. The right carrier is the right word. So you must live through the words. So this is what he said. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children, my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content and character. So you have to emphasize. You don't read out, one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the content. No, that's boring. Nobody will pay attention. Nobody has time to listen to your reading. So this is one way. Second, the second example I have, I'm just quoting 1 or 2 lines from some of the speeches as random. It's not a regular speech. So I just give you a model so that you can practice. And when you practice Martin Luther King speech, make sure you download it and say it along with it. Improve your tone, improve your delivery of speech, the pause. Punctuations are all important. You have to stop. It's not reading out. You should imbibe it. You should understand the meaning of it. Then you have to deliver it. Okay. Second is Abraham Lincoln's speech at Gettysburg in 1776. That is where he described democracy. He said, 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent. You see, when there is a comma, 77 years ago, 7 years ago, our fathers brought. Don't read like that. This is boring. Nobody will be there to listen to you. So 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth upon this continent. Our fathers brought forth upon this continent. I took a breath. A new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. So this is how you have to deliver, so that when you say these things, it will slowly sink in. the audience will be able to follow you. Don't rush through the words. Emphasize, make that rise and fall sound. 7 years ago, 7 years ago, that's monotonous. Nobody's interested. Our fathers brought forth upon this continent what? A new nation. What type of nation? Conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. So that's how you have to read a speech. Next one, number 3. Swami Vivekananda's speech. Well, I don't know whether it was recorded or not, but it can be said this way. I'm not quite sure. There are many versions available on the internet. Sisters and brothers of America. Sisters and brothers of America. How you address a person also matters. Ladies and gentlemen, formal. Brothers and sisters, near and dear ones. Okay, don't repeat. Don't copy others. Don't use, if you have used, already used word, plus that's not going to attract attention. So you must have your own emotional aspect attached to it. You must understand and probably raise the tone a little bit, the bass. It fills my heart with unspeakable joy unspeakable, to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. Full stop. I thank you in the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of all religions. And I thank you in the name of the millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. So he is putting it like a phrase, 5 words, 6 words together. It's not reading out, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to one. No, that shouldn't be the method. This is reading out. Now, I'll go to another type. I know many of you have watched the WWF, World Wrestling Federation. When people are, shouting, and they'll be shouting at the highest pitch, and you can see the entry of some of the wrestlers. Probably you are familiar with the Man Mountain, Great Undertaker, Rocky Johnson, etc., etc. I'm not so familiar. I used to watch. Nowadays I don't watch wrestling. So their commentary has a different nature. So far we have been speaking about speeches, how to start, how to modulate, how to use the tone, what kind of tone, how to break. Okay, but there it reaches its pinnacle. It reaches its extreme stage when it comes to WW, because they always shout at the highest pitch. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Texas, Tennessee, weighing 340 pounds, here comes the Man Mountain, the Great Undertaker. So you have to raise the tone, describe the person. Ladies, they didn't say ladies and gentlemen. No. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Texas, Tennessee, weighing 350 kilograms, 2-time tag team champions, here comes down the lane, the Man Mountain, the Great Undertaker. So this is how you have to modulate your voice. This is another one. Then many of, maybe some of you are listening to me, people who were of 70s and 80s. We used to listen Amin Sayani. He spoke meticulous Hindi, of the most mellifluent Hindi I have ever heard. He used to say, भाई और बहनों, बिना का गीत माला की छावों में फिल्म संगीत का सुनहरे गाने लेके आ रहे हैं आपका दोस्त Amin Sayani. So that is how you deliver. Sometimes go fast, sometimes slow, sometimes rise. So this is the technique. Okay. Then I was also quite carried away by the advertisement of Asian Paints, for instance. They say, Asian Paints, they have an advertisement. Different brands have different advertisements, like Motorola or, telephones, bringing together, except broken hearts. Bringing together broken hearts and connecting the world, or connecting the people, Nokia. So different brands have different. So Asian Paints, this line was there. Colors to suit, colors to match every moon. Asian Paints have them. Add colors to your life with Asian Paints. So the delivery matters, the tone matters. And finally, there are many, but let me see, I can spare about a little time with you so that I can answer some of the questions. Yes. Mark Antony's famous speech is there from Julius Caesar. So Julius Caesar is murdered by Brutus, and the dead body is there at the Capitol. And Mark Antony happened to be one of his trusted friends or lieutenants, and he was asked to deliver the funeral oration. Then he says, and it's a very difficult situation. He cannot support his fallen friend because he is surrounded by the enemies. He cannot let the people go, and at the same time he wants the people to become irate and take up arms and kill these conspirators. But all these things are properly packed, the emotional aspect. And that speech is very, very important, very crucial. He said, "Friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it." So this is how you have to play your words. So Dale Carnegie, I often quote Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie once said, "What matters most is not what you say, how you say." So how you say is important. Okay, so this is all I have to say within the time limited, and the remaining time I would like to interact with those who would like to ask me questions, and you can use Hindi, Telugu, Malayalam, English, no problem. You don't have the constraints of language. Okay, I hope the the technical support will help me interacting with the people if there are. Yes, please keep the others. When the audio is open, only one person should talk. Others should remain silent. When your turn comes, when the people who handle this program will let you in, you speak, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Sure.
I'm Raina David from Madhya Kerala Diocese.
Okay.
So, sir, as a student who competes in public speaking competitions, my doubt is what matters more in a public speaking competition, the content we have or the way we deliver it?
First, the content. I must say the way you deliver. That means confidence. You must have the confidence. Second, the content. Both are equally important. But first one is more important. Even if you are lagging behind in content, but if your presentation is okay, if you are using the right technique, the right words, and the right pace between words and between sentences, I'm sure you will definitely attract the attention of the jury.
Thank you, sir.
Second comes, you must have a rare points, Don't copy from the internet. Cut and paste won't help you. You can take the idea, rephrase it in your own way, use it in a limited way, using the appropriate word properly. Okay, that's important. So
Thank you, sir.
confidence and that tone is important. I mean, I have mentioned all those things: body action, tone, pace, pronunciations, going fast or going slow, etc. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Sir, hello,
Good evening,
sir.
sir. Good
One,
evening.
one at a time, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Sure.
Sir, can you explain me about the non-verbal aspects first point, sir?
Yes, non-verbal. I said as a dress to suit the occasion. The dress you wear. I mean, it should know. Most of you, even in the church, you know, I am really annoyed to see people wearing T-shirts and jeans to the church. Church is a sacred place where you are supposed to be in the most humble manner. So your dress should suit the occasion. Means it must be formal. Imagine I am talking to you with a banyan or a T-shirt written something here. It's not good. Yes. So,
Hello, sir.
yeah, please close the
Sir,
microphone. Yes.
from South Carolina. Sir, instead of using ladies and gentlemen and brothers and sisters,
I'm sorry.
uh,
I'm sorry. I can't follow you because there is disturbance from behind and you are speaking. Please ask the people to keep quiet or close the door. Okay.
So I think I can, they raise their hands. I
Okay,
can
please,
call one
next.
by one. Or
That's
else
right. That's
everybody
better,
will
sir.
ask.
Sure, sure. Go ahead, please.
So, Sannidhi V. Guram from Karnataka North.
yes, sir. I'm Sanidhi V. Guram from Karnataka Diocese.
Mhm.
Sir, how can I practice voice modulation?
The voice modulation is ideal. You know, there are many ways. That is what I said at the beginning of my lecture. You follow and you follow the, have the models. For example, I have quoted WWF. Why don't you imitate? There's a saying in English, if you cannot make it, fake it. Say, for example, you say this, ladies and gentlemen, in the corner of my right, weighing 250 kilograms, hailing from Carolina, here comes Rocky Johnson. You see, you have to imitate. I'm not a commentator. I'm only a language teacher or instructor, communicative English instructor. But I am able to repeat or imitate them. That's the best thing. Although I said imitation is suicidal, but when it comes to pronunciation, you can do it. Okay, so observe others. Practice, practice, practice. Yes.
From Karnataka Diocese, J. Sharanya.
Good evening, sir. I'm
Good evening.
Sharanya from Karimnagar Diocese.
Go ahead, please.
I would like to know the 3 types of speeches.
First one, public speaking. Speaking on a given topic, taking your own time. May I say, for example, in most of the schools and institutions, in other education institutions, you will be given a speech well in advance. Maybe injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, or justice delayed is justice denied, or the hands that rock the cradle can rule the nation. That was the topic of the 2021 civil service examination. So they will give you the topic in advance and you can prepare. Okay,
Next.
that's one. Number 2 is extempore speech. Extempore speech mostly conducted by schools and other institutions. Those who are interested in speaking, public speaking, they will be gathered and they will be given a topic each, one by one, a few minutes before you go on stage. You will be in the green room behind the curtain and the teacher concerned will come. Okay, here you speak about Swachh Bharat and your time limit is 2 or 3 minutes. Then after the speaker is over, your turn. You will hardly get 5 minutes to prepare. That's called extempore speech. And the third one is declamation. Declamation is exactly what I have done now. Friends, Romans, and countrymen, lend me your ears. I've come to Caesar. I've come not to bury Caesar. What was that? I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. Okay, so it is not from me. I have just copied it from a content or a a drama or a poem or a speech. So that is declamation. You are only repeating what others have already said, like Martin Luther King's speech, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's speech, Shashi Tharoor, or anybody for that matter. Okay, right.
South,
Next,
So how to
from
prepare for
South Kerala diocese, Vinay Vinod.
Vinay. Okay.
Sir, I am Vinaya Vinod. Even if I prepare very well when I stay in front of the dais, I suffer from stage fear.
Okay.
What should I do to overcome this?
I'll give you the best way is you have, I mean, how many members are there in your family?
4 members.
4 members. Gather all the 4 members after dinner or a Sunday service. Prepare a small speech, a very small speech. In the sense, maybe about 5 or 10 sentences with a beginning, a middle, an example, then a conclusion. You present it in front of your parents, in front of your brother, in front of your sister. And they will say, look, this is something you are not supposed to do. Yes, this is you are lacking in, and this is, this word would fit in better than the other one. That is the worst criticism you can get. You are not scared. So practice. And you have about 4-member audience there. Then you do it in front of your friends. Don't be afraid, because you are the only one who prepared the speech better. So lack of experience, lack of exposure is the main reason why our children are lagging behind. No preparation is there. So it means you prepare a speech, present it before your friend, before your father, before your mother, before your brother, before your grandparents, before your aunts and uncles. Then people who appreciate it. I'm sure the third time, maybe once or twice you might fail. But what Abraham Lincoln once said, perhaps we might fail, but that should not deter us from the cause we are fighting for. Best of luck. Next.
Thank you.
Coimbatore diocese, Jerlin.
Jolly. Hurry up.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in the introduction of your speech, you said like three things will avoid your public speaking, like short of confidence, short of language, and another thing. What is it, sir? The third point.
Sort of confidence, sort of a language.
Language, and the third point, sir.
Third point, I think it is quotes or anecdotes.
Okay.
Suppose if you say that something is true or a case is there, you have to support it with an example or with an incident. For instance, let me just give you a clear example. If I want to go back to the first point, attitude. I said ask, attitude, skill, and knowledge. I can support attitude, for example, by giving a speech. I can support it with giving a small incident. Normally, I caught this incident. I think I spoke this story before as well in one of my previous speeches. I can say attitude. Attitude is what is the attitude? How you are going to take it. 3 people. I think a couple of months ago, I think when I was speaking on a similar occasion, I said this story. 3 people who were working at a site. I'm giving you a story in order to support the question, the point, attitude. One person answered to another person who asked a question, what are you working for? Then he said, I am working for earning my daily bread. I need money because I am starving. I don't have money to feed my family. Okay, that's right. Second person he went to said, look, what are you doing? I'm chiseling, shaping a stone so that I can fix it there. He said what he is busy with right now. Then the third person said, oh, gentlemen, what are you doing? He said, I am building a cathedral. Oh, so you can imagine the attitude of the people. The first person is worried about his tummy, day-to-day upbringing, day-to-day life. The second person is more preoccupied with his profession. The third one has a bigger vision. He said, I am becoming a part of building a cathedral. So that is the attitude, positive attitude, negative attitude. Most of us say, oh, nothing will work in this world. That is negative attitude. I hope I have understood, explained this question to you.
From Royal Summer Diocese and Sri Anvita.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I have a doubt. If a person interrupts us while we are giving a speech, so shall we take that question or answer it at the end?
No, should not. If it is a peremptory in the sense that is, if it's a competition, don't pay any attention to him. Okay,
sir.
Or you are going to speak as I do now. I am here because I have done my part. Now I have set aside the Q&A session, question and answer session. You have to answer. You are going as a professional, not as a competitor. And second thing, don't tell I have a doubt. Doubt is not the right word. I have a question or I have a query. Okay, question is the right word. May I ask you a question? Don't say I have a doubt. That's not the right word for that. Okay, thank you. Next.
From Karimnagar Diocese, Tejas Prachwal.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir. Sometimes I could not pronounce English as native speakers, and sometimes I could not speak English fluently. Sir, can you please give me some tips to pronounce English fluently and pronounce as it's
Cheptanu. I will give you an example. Look, I don't speak like a native speaker. This is the question what I was asked when I appeared for my Cambridge degree. Ms. Rubin, what do you think is the most essential aspect of speaking English? I said intelligibility. I worked in a country where there are more than 100 nationalities work. Nobody speaks the English. Everybody speaks English. Now you have Telugu English, Kannada English, Malayalam English, Tamil English, Tenglish, English. No, you just have a middle language. In the sense, I don't sound like a native speaker, but still I am intelligible to you. That's what we want. So don't be too much bothered about your imitating others or pronouncing the way others do. They have their own way of pronouncing, but make sure what you pronounce should be understood by the listener. That's important. If you pronounce a reservoir, that's not the correct pronunciation, reservoir. If you say cassette, no, cassette. Correct? Okay, so the best way is listen to good speeches. And you have a Orient Longman's pronouncing dictionary, you can install it. And if you have problems, and BBC language program is there, try to be, listening to that, keep repeating. As I said just now, I have a dream. Why don't you say? You sometimes, how do you say that? I have a dream. That's not enough. I have a dream, that you are pronouncing it with the real emotion, with the real speech. So please listen to these speeches. And if you are particular about pronunciation, then there is Oriental Longman dictionary is there available. You just get the help. Keep repeating, read aloud. Okay. And as I said during my speech, if you cannot make it, at least fake it. Right. Okay.
Sir, so many people are raised their hands.
Okay.
So I don't think that we have enough time.
Okay.
So two more people. Thuthukudi Nazareth Diocese, J. Moses Jabamani.
Chapandi.
Sir, I am from Moses Jabamani from Thuthukudi Nazareth Diocese. Sir.
Yes. Keka. Right.
How to prepare the talking points?
How to prepare? Yes, that's a valid question. When you have a point, when you have a topic, for example, justice delayed, or maybe empowering women. Strigale Shakti, engane Shaktigarikam. That is the topic, empowering women. Then you must think or read newspapers or refer to the material available on the online and read articles related or article on or about this topic, then you will get points. Then you choose the key points and write them down. 1, 2, 3, 4. What to do in order to strengthen women? Give them education. Don't exploit them. Stop all superstitious practice like sati and those who are against the remarriage of widows, etc. So you have valid points to support how to empower, what should be done, and with examples. So only when you read the article on or about it, or you can think, what we call it as a brainstorming. If you just put your pen down and think for a while, you will have something dawning on your mind. Oh, this is the right stuff. This should be done. It is because of this that women are not coming forward and they are illiterate. Give them education. Take care of their health. Give them equal share in the family. Okay, so that is what we call brainstorming. And brainstorming means adding more points. And points will come from your reading habit. Read books, read articles.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody for participating in this program. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We are closing the
Thank you,
session.
sir.
All right. Thank you.